Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to our continuing live coverage of the Team USA Trials here on Bowl TV. Women's fourth round about to get underway. You can follow along with the live scoring, live stats, the results links on the bottom of, right underneath the video there. We're just getting started. It'll take a moment to get the live scoring, Barb, so please be patient. They'll get that going in just a moment. Our featured pairs, we've got Rachel Sather, Brittany Hamilton, Stephanie Mackin. There's Brittany. Good looking shot from Brittany here to start this off. Cara Mangiola on that left lane there. Also Lauren Johnson and Courtney Schultz on that pair. There's Rachel. She starts things off with a strike. So 6 games on the horizon here. Michael still watching from Boston. Must be a long layover in Boston. Nice to hear from you, and hope you continue to enjoy the coverage here today. Live scoring will be coming back in just a minute. They're working on it right now. So they're going to get that turned on for us. The men's squad today, it was Casey Shepard leading the 6-game total with a 244.33 average. Wesley Lowe finished second, John Zerbinski third, Rano Page fourth, and Michael Coffey fifth today. In the overall standings, John Zerbinski still leading, and he's in great shape heading into the final day. John at 27 points. Really could not ask for a better 4 days from John Zerbinski. 27 points is first place. John Janowitz, he is in second place with 63 points. He's also in a good spot. Kyle King third at 72. And E.J. Tackett, fourth place at 77. We've got Marshall Kent and Eddie Van Daneker tied at 80 points. And in 5th and 6th. So the total pinfall will break that tie. So basically what it means is John Zerbinski, if he finishes in the top 50 tomorrow, he'll be on the show. And for John Janowitz, his number is top 15, it looks like. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. As the guys head into tomorrow and those standings on bowl.com. Brittany Hamilton with the split in the third frame. It's her first non-strike of the game. Double start and then the split for an open. Jubal says, I feel like we see a lot of repeats on the featured pairs. Am I wrong? You're right. I think we do have a lot of repeat customers, it seems like, and something we'll talk about when they look when we have our recap meeting on this tournament is the lane assignments and making sure, hopefully, that we can avoid some of these repeats on the featured pairs in the future, because we'd definitely like to see everybody get on the featured pairs at some point, especially with this many days and this many games, you know. And but tomorrow, everything will get changed tomorrow, because instead of the regular rotation for the lane assignments, they're gonna put the leaders together, and so 1, 2, and 3 will bowl together, 4, 5, and 6 together, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and on down, so that when we get to the end for the last game, those leaders are going to be right in front of our live streaming pairs for the final game tomorrow. Here's Brittany in the 4th. Haven't seen Brittany yet in this tournament. I was just talking to her during the break. Told her I haven't barely even seen her this week. She said she's just kind of going along, not really doing anything big in the standings, but not really doing anything terrible either. So she's just kind of chugging along, doing her thing. Probably has a few more points than she would like, I think. Yeah, Brittany's in 10th coming into today at 58 points. So she's had pretty solid tournament so far. She's finished 26th, 11th, and 21st. But currently sitting 25 points out of 3rd. But that's definitely not, out of the question for her to get in the top 3 for sure. She's definitely going to have to work pretty hard these next 2 days and finish near the top of the standings to really have a chance, though. Live scoring looks like it's working. And one thing to note here is that 9 and 10 is out of play. 9 and 10 is out of play. They had a problem with that with the pin setter, so it is out of play for this squad. And anybody who is scheduled to bowl on 9 and 10 on this squad will bowl on 7 and 8. So 7 and 8 will be the pair for the bowlers who are supposed to be on 9 and 10. And yes, Deandra Azpady and Elise Bolton should be on the featured pair for the next game, because they are on lane 46, and they'll be coming to 54 for game 2. So that'll be a nice treat to be able to see those two. I don't think we've seen Elise Bolton. Oh, maybe we did once. But Elise is bowling well this week. I think she was 3rd place coming into today, and she started pretty good this game. Strike spare triple. So if you've got the live scoring up and running, if you flip over to 51 and 52 or 53 and 54, you will find our featured pairs. And they do move the same amount of lanes today. As they did yesterday and the day before. So the right lane moves right, the left lane moves left, and you just add 8 to the right lane, or 7, or subtracts 8 to the left lane, and that'll get your total. So if you're on 54, you're going to 62. If you're on 53, you're going to 60. You're going to 45. Jubal asks, what about the bowlers who were supposed to be on 7 and 8? That was a dark pair. 1 through 8 were dark for the women. 1 through 8, and then a few pairs at the high end. I think the last 4 pairs on the high end are dark for the women. We don't have full house for the women's squad. There's only 85 bowlers. Tim V says, greetings from Holland. Good afternoon, or evening, I guess, over there. Brittany's game started off pretty promising here, but after starting with a double, hasn't struck again in the next 4 frames. Kara Mangiola on the left lane here, working on 4 strikes in a row. Tough break there, leaves the 9 pin on a pretty good shot. A little high, but it definitely could have struck. Stephanie Mackin, the lefty, leaves the baby split. If you haven't clicked the subscribe button for our channel, it is free. And you don't have to do it, but we're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers, and we're at 9,909 right now. So we're only 91 away from hitting that 10,000 number. So please press subscribe above the video you're watching and subscribe to our YouTube channel here, Bowl TV, which you can set up email alerts, and you'll get an email anytime a new video is posted. So it's a pretty neat feature. You'll get them. You get the videos before we post them on Facebook or Twitter, anywhere. You will get them first. So please press subscribe and subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much. Got some more folks subscribing. 9,916. So only 84 to go. Throw a little celebration or something when we get to 10,000. Good shot by Rachel Sather, or Sather, I'm not sure how she pronounces it. That's a double for her. Mangiola, 8th frame. Gets a strike. She's got a good game going here. 158 in the 7th frame and a strike in the 8th for her. Brittany finally back on the board with a strike. It's a long drought for her. Lauren Johnson just threw her third consecutive strike. Rachel gets another one, 3 in a row for her. Nice shot by Stephanie for a double. Brittany, ninth frame. She wanted it to hold and it didn't. She was begging. It's another split. She's not real happy with this start. And I don't blame her. Andres Beatty has come to play today. She's got 6 strikes in a row this game after a couple of spares, it looks like, to start. Jeff wants to know what ball I throw. Well, I don't bowl too much anymore, but I throw all kinds of bowling balls. I got lots of bowling balls that are old these days. I haven't drilled a new bowling ball in a while, so I think the latest ball that I have is the Rotogrip Defiant. Pretty good. Works for me. I like the Storm Roto stuff, and if you are interested in getting a new ball, you might want to check out stormbowling.com/lucid. It's stormbowling.com/LUCID, lucid. And they're offering a $20 rebate on the Storm Lucid bowling ball and an opportunity to win a trip for 2 to the International Bowling Campus. So check that out. Michael wants to know if there are any two-handed female bowlers. I haven't seen any in the field. I have seen some in other competitions, but I don't think there are any here. Brittany looking at 165 this game. She's in the 10th frame. 222 for Lauren Johnson. Kara Mangiola with another strike, 4 in a row for her. She can bowl 248 this game. Rachel, if she makes the bucket there, will shoot 201. Brittany struck on her fill. So 165 for her. Someone asking what Shannon Plahowski is bowling off to our right. She is going to shoot 231 if she strikes out. Agiola strikes out 248. Great game. Stephanie with her 4th consecutive strike. She came back to 235 this game. Courtney Schultz finished with 153. Could see Shannon Plahowski off to the right there. She was struck in the first shot in the 10th. Second shot for Stephanie here in the 10th frame. It's a little wide. So she's going to shoot around 220 or so. That's the end of game 1. Goes by pretty fast in the women's division, doesn't it? Deandra still has a big game going. If you watch it on the live scoring, she's on 45 and 46. And she got the first one in the 10th. I don't think it's popped up on the live scoring just yet, but she can strike out for 279, it looks like. Deandra got another one. She'll be moving over to this pair next. Deandra on her fill ball looks like she got 7 or 8. She shoots 277. It's a great start. Considering yesterday she shot 150 the first game, I think Deandra was determined to not let that happen again. I see you guys are talking about the football game in the chat. Yep, Seattle just scored a touchdown. It's 14-10 Washington now. I actually have the game running on my phone while I do live streaming. My girlfriend's a Redskins fan, so I'm cheering for the Skins. Question in the chat. Lucas, why don't we see all the pro women competing like Kulik, O'Keefe, and Johnson? I don't know why Kelly Kulik and Liz Johnson aren't here, but I can tell you why Shannon O'Keefe and Stephanie Nation aren't. They are working. They have full-time jobs. And so for the women with full-time jobs, and of course a lot of the women have full-time jobs now because there's no professional women's tour. So that is why some of them are not bowling. I can't speak for some of the others, but they're still eligible to be on Team USA via selection from the resume process. So on this pair, we've got Brittany Hillman, Grace Hall, Sarah Minch. I believe that's how you say it. Not sure, though. It's hard to read on these scoreboards. And then the other pair, it's going to be Brandy Stevens, Elise Bolton, and Deandra Asbady. Here's Elise. Strikes on her first shot. Elise shot 212 the first game. Grace Hall. Brandy Stevens shot 213 first game. Starts with a spare. Here is Deandra Asbady. Started with 277. Great first game. And you can see why she shot 277 right there. Starts off with a strike. Elise started with a double. Rance wants to know who I think will be picked for Team USA this year. It's always hard to tell. You know, I'm not sure. I don't like to really make predictions because it's hard to tell what the coaches are thinking. The coaching staff, selection committee, whatever you want to call them, they were the ones who will make the decisions. I mean, if I had to guess, Chris Barnes and Kelly Kulik, probably you're going to see them on the team. I'd be shocked. But, I mean, you just don't know. Have to wait and see. We'll find out tomorrow night. It'll all be announced tomorrow night. Jubal wants to know if we'll still be live streaming the U.S. Women's Open this year. Really haven't talked too much about it at this point as Deandra strikes again for the double. I think we'll be involved in some capacity, but with the men and the women for the U.S. Women's Open being combined, I'm not sure what the plan is going to be yet. So we'll be talking about that in the coming months, and always, of course, let you know. Don't forget, live scoring, live stats, results, all available to you by clicking the links below the video you're watching. Elise Bolton working on a double here in game 2. And she strikes again, so 3 in a row for Elise. Brittany Hillman with a strike in the 3rd. Randy Stevens up here on the right lane. 4-9 split. Grace Hall, 3rd frame. Comes up light, leaves the 2-8. Deandra trying to go 3 for 3 and keep pace with Elise Bolton this game. That's a little right. Oh, look at it come back and leave a 7-10. Wow. Definitely did not deserve to leave the 7-10 on that shot. Elise looking for 4 in a row. Comes up a little light, carries it. Big smile. I think she knows she got away with one there. Deandra Asbeatty shooting the 7-10. She'll take one of them. But open for Deandra in the 3rd. She shot 277 first game, though. Randy Stevens comes up a little light, leaves the 7. Asbeatty gets right again, this time 2-4-8. Neil Stremmel is back. Hi, Neil.
Good afternoon.
Cool. You can take over. I'll go watch the Redskins-Seahawks game. How's that sound?
I don't know. I was watching the Bradley-Wichita State basketball game, and Nick Bohannon went to Wichita State. I went to Bradley, and it's not looking good, so I had to come up here.
Wichita State's pretty good in basketball, I think.
Yeah,
year.
I think they're like 11-1 right now or something like that. And or maybe it was 13-1. Bradley's 10-4, but they've played a bunch of schmucks, so it doesn't really count.
Play a weak non-conference schedule, huh?
Yeah, so far. They played Michigan State and lost by like 8 points. That's the only good team they've played. Not that I know anything. So how's it going so far on the TV pairs here?
Pretty good. Well, Deandra shot 277 a couple of lanes away and then moved over here for this game. And So she was off to a good start. Had a pocket 7-10 in the third frame, though.
Oh, that's always
kinda,
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of slowed her down. Somebody's asking where Missy Parkin is, and I don't see her.
She was on. She was on the end,
Yeah,
and
she may
now
have
she's
made
on the
turn.
low end.
Yeah, so she's somewhere on the low end.
So she will finish close to here. She probably won't be on the feature pair at all, though.
Strike and Barb asking in the chat where you are from originally, Neil.
Originally from northern Illinois, just south of Rockford. It's a thriving metropolis that I grew up in, of Stillman Valley, population 1,000.
Valley, does that indicate that there's like a mountain or something near it? Or
It just indicates it's a valley.
just a hole
A valley
in the ground?
flatland, yeah. Like we were sinking. So, yep. Thriving metropolis.
Deandra.
My parents owned a 5-lane bowling center in the thriving metropolis of Stillman Valley, so that's where
How many lanes?
5.
What? How? 5?
Yeah.
How does
5.
that work?
It works because the building that was predetermined to put a bowling center in fit 5, so that's what they put in after the war, World War II. And then my parents bought it years later after that.
So I guess if you have league, you got a 4-team league, and you just have an extra lane there, right?
Yeah, we used to double shift, so we'd have like 8-team leagues, and you either bowled early or you bowled late.
And you got one lane for open play, huh?
Yeah. We used to do something funky with the juniors. We'd bowl 5 teams, but then whoever was on lane 5 bowled against the score on lane 4 or something like that. I don't even know if that's legal.
It's probably not.
Maybe it was at the time. Or we didn't care. I don't know, because what are you going to do? It's youth, and you want everybody to bowl. So
They say Missy's on 15 and 16 right now, and she bowled 200 her first game. So thank you for the update.
yes. So she will keep moving towards us, but I don't think she'll make it here.
Yeah, it's pretty far away.
Yeah. Move
Just
8.
got the update after the first game here.
8
We'll call
lanes.
it up. That's a good shot by Deandra.
Another good one by Deandra. So she's had a pocket 7-10 and 4 strikes, just not able to string them all together.
Yeah, she's easily in the lead after the first game. Just briefly caught the standings while I'm calling it up here, and she's leading by more than 30 pins that first game. So she's built herself a little bit of a cushion after one game, which is always nice.
Yep.
Karen Mangiola on our featured pair shot, 248. Nicole Parkhurst, 244. Paige Crasher? How would you say that?
Yep.
Crasher?
I wouldn't say it. I'd say Paige.
236. Brianna Caldwell, 235. So some big games, and a lot of people who just kind of grinded out a 200, 220 game that time. Danielle McEwen shot a very solid 223 first game, so that will definitely not hurt her very much. That put her in 9th place on this squad.
Elise had a 212 the first game and had the front 4, and now a 9 spare strike, 9 again. She's throwing the ball very well this year.
Yeah, she is. She's really bowling well. And she's got herself in pretty good shape if she can bowl good again today.
Yeah, her ball roll has changed slightly. She's a little more behind the ball, a little less side roll than she used to have, so it ignores some of the topography issues or dry portions of the lane that can affect it.
And she's bowling collegiately at Nebraska now, and got Bill Straub working with her, and so I'm sure that he's made some adjustments with her game and stuff.
Well, it looks like the axis of rotation has changed. She's behind the ball more and looks a little better. It's less reactive when you do that. It's more consistent from lane to lane, shot to shot, and things like that. More predictable.
Well, Deandra working on a double. It's the 7th frame. She's got a chance to make up for that 7-10 split here if she can keep it going. That looks pretty good. Look at it start to hook a little bit.
Yeah, finishing strong, that's for sure.
She
tripped the 4.
On the 7-10, and in the 4th frame when she went 7 spares, she left a 2-4-8. She missed right on both shots, and they came back pretty far. But the 7-10 came up light and kind of mixed them up. Nothing really hit the 7-10. And so she got that one inside a little bit more than she had been, but doesn't seem to be a lot of hold there right now. Elise, Greek Church.
Our favorite split.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big nasty one right there.
So is she going to go at it the right side or the left side? Is she going to go for the 2 or the 3?
And if I was her in the position that she's in this tournament where every pin could be important for her as far as points go, I'd take the count for sure.
Yep, so you go for the 3.
Just take the count. Don't worry about it. Live to see another frame.
Yeah. I like Brandy's strike there on 53. You know, you trip the 4-9, but rarely are you tripping the 9 into the 4 like she just did. Yep, she went for the 3.
Yep.
And got 3.
That's a safe play.
Yeah, one more ball. Oh, no, I guess not.
Well, in this format, one pin could equal a point,
Yep.
And you can't. She's in a position where she can't really afford to get any more points. She doesn't want to get any more points. She's in third, and
Yep.
to stay there, she needs to get as few points as possible today, as does everybody,
Yep, so one pin might mean one more point, and you don't want that.
And especially on what may be a little bit of a lower scoring overall day.
Yeah, everybody
it's
should
much
be tighter.
More important. Yeah, much more important to not give away pins.
Yep, good point.
Deandra looking for 4 in a row, and she's going to stop.
She's looking to start over.
And you can tell she put the ball down and just completely reset. That's the way to do it. If you're going to stop like that, put the ball down, start over.
Yep.
Do your pre-shot routine all over again.
Yep. You see people, switch their feet around or just try to start again. Yeah, you always regret that.
Yeah, exactly. It never goes good when you do that. It always ends up poorly.
So, yep, I'm with you. You step back, you start over.
That's a little better right there.
Yeah,
oh wow!
Look
at that.
Again. Yeah, it's jumping.
That was further right than the last one.
Yeah, it's jumping. I think
yep.
I couldn't tell if she made a move from that last shot that she struck, but it went high, and this one just went even further.
That was about at least 2 boards right of the last shot from what I could see, and it just really checked up on her.
Yeah, that
just kept going.
It makes for some confusion. So
she probably needs to make some sort of an adjustment, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if that adjustment's moving in or falling down or trying to get a little firmer with it.
I like to say that you just need to throw it better.
True.
I would say that to her, though.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
Yeah.
Give it a run here, Deandra.
Oh, my God.
That's brutal.
She did, and
wow.
That's painful.
That is. That's tough because...
Did everything you needed to do and still didn't get it.
And moments like that can really cost you points.
Yeah, because that's not one pin, that's 10 pins right there.
Yeah, that's a mark. But that's the mark that you don't expect to get anyway, so it would have been a nice bonus to have gotten it.
But she's had 2 splits now this game, and one she didn't deserve. That one definitely was high. Let's see if she moves on this one.
Brandy Stevens, 9th frame.
She's not covering as many boards. She's not seeing that jump like Deandra. Lower rev rate, less.
Yeah, Deandra's got a little bit higher rev rate on the women's side.
Yeah.
We'll see if she makes an adjustment here. She needs to. She'll do a little firmer, I think. That was better.
That was solid, yeah.
I think she just amped it up a little bit. Just enough. Sigh. Relief.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, usually you need to keep the speed down and be soft at the bottom on the release. But in her case, I have to agree with that. Be a little more firm.
Because at this point, she's just trying to get off this pair. The game's almost over.
Yeah.
You don't really want to do anything too drastic at the end here,
Yeah, let's move an arrow and change balls in the 9th frame.
Yeah.
Just stay clean. Don't do anything too crazy. Keep it safe. You're exactly right. That's what the difference is between league or say the Masters or Queens, where you're bowling a series. Here, you're going to be moving in 2 frames, so you're not going to learn anything.
Yeah, because the next pair you go to might be completely different.
Yep.
Probably will.
She won't throw another ball on that lane on this pattern, so.
Elise left the 10 pin.
10th frame, 10 pin,
yep. So she's looking at 212 max again. So she shot 212 first game. She can shoot 212 again this game.
Very consistent.
Yes. And I would guess that a 212 average today will probably be pretty good on the women's
I
side.
have to agree with that. You're right.
I don't think it's not going to win the day, but it might be a top 10 finish.
Yeah, it should be. It'll be solid. And, she's right there. You want to carry some of that stuff, and that's how you feel when you're doing it. But just keep grinding it and get as much as you can.
Flying Bowler in the chat says he made the Greek church this year shooting at the 3 side. 6 pins slid across and hit the front of the 7 to the wall and into the 4. So he made it hit the 3 side.
Yeah.
It's a hard split to make.
Yeah, I usually just fire it at the 3 side, hope for 3, and then hope for something to bounce out.
Brittany leaves the 8-10 and the 10. So, yeah, bad finish of this game for her with back-to-back splits. That'll be a little frustrating for her.
Good cover by Brandy.
Yep. Put her in the 160s.
Yeah, 10th frames always, you leave a little baby split like that, you just feel like you got to cover it.
How about John Zerbinski this morning? He bowled really great, shot 300, has the lead, and he finishes in the top 50 tomorrow. He's on the show pretty much. That's a nice position to be. That's about as good of a position you could be in, I think, going into the last day. I don't think you could ask for much more.
Yeah, you can't ask for much more, no.
In this format, He's
been very consistent. That's obviously one of the things we're looking for, and has a good chance to, like you said, make the show, which also means make Team USA.
Yep.
So I'm pretty confident that's what's going to happen.
John Janowitz also with a real good, legit shot to stay in the top 3. He's in second, and I think if he finishes in the top 15, he would guarantee himself a spot in the finals.
Yeah, he's another one that he knows what he's doing, that's for sure, and bowls well on all the patterns. He won a gold medal at PabCon in singles on this surface right here in this house. So,
and I was talking to him just for a couple of minutes during the break, and he said that tomorrow's pattern he thinks is not one that you're really going to get in a lot of trouble on. He said it's going to be on the higher scoring side, and he said it's just not one that he thinks he'll get lost on, or that anybody will get lost on like John or anybody else. Should be able to, because we were talking specifically about John having to just finish in the top 50, and and he says it's not really the kind of pattern where you're getting in a lot of trouble and get lost. So.
Yeah, London tomorrow. It's not as tough as Mexico City. It's not as easy as Paris. But it's a longer pattern and kind of helps you have some hold in the middle of the lane, and gives you some. You can play it fairly straight too, so keep you out of trouble, like you say. This definitely, just like we were talking about, this pattern in Atlanta is, I think, the toughest one of the week, and if you're not careful, you can pile on the points today. Yeah, Deandra has a strike in the first ball in the 10th, so she got another double. So double, 3-bagger in the middle of the game, and at least another double here.
It's pretty good.
She threw that one firmer. That was the way to go.
Yeah, I think that's the adjustment she made, was just to firm it up a little bit for these last 2 frames, and worked out perfect.
Get it down the lane and cut down on the back end.
Look at me calling it. I don't call it very often like that.
You call
Watch enough bowling, though. You tend to see these things, I guess, eventually. Yeah. I am a USBC coaching bronze certified coach, by the way, just so you know.
Congratulations. You should go down there.
I got to do
Somebody take over while you go down and coach Deandra for the rest of the day.
I always tell everybody that in Malaysia, I coached Walter Ray Williams for a block, and he averaged 240, and I stood there and I gave him a high five every time he struck. Yeah. It was the easiest coaching job ever. Didn't tell him one thing. Told him some jokes. That was about it.
See, it's important. You got to keep him loose. You were the difference right there.
That's right.
Nice job.
I was the difference. He would have averaged 239 if I hadn't been there. Great finish for Deandra. That puts her at 97 over for the first 2 games.
Yeah, that's a good score with 2 splits.
She couldn't ask for much more than being 100 over after the first 2.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Pretty good start for her. So 220 for Deandra that game. Yeah, she's got a smile on her face. You can tell she's pretty happy.
Yeah.
146
she knows
for
it's a tough pattern. That's a huge start, really.
Sarah Minch shot 146. Brittany Hillman 171. Grace Hall 204 as that pair has wrapped up. And like clockwork, every 30 minutes they finish a game. It's pretty amazing on the women's side how that happens.
Yeah, except for that one pair where we got 4.
They
it causes some delays, but Yeah, Brittany, we didn't talk about it while she was bowling, but she's changed her backswing since I saw her last, which was about 2 years ago. I mean, I've seen her, but I haven't really focused on.
Brittany Hillman, the one that was right here on.
Oh, yeah, no, I thought
or
it
that
was
different Brittany?
Yeah, different Brittany.
Brittany Hamilton?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she was on first game.
So, yeah, while she was on the first game, I was thinking this. But she's changed her backswing. It's a little higher than it had been, and I think overall it's going to be a good move. Just got to make sure she works at it and don't pull down on the ball and see how that goes.
Becca Fisher asks in the chat, Lucas, if you aren't a big bowler, how'd you get into this job? Well, I do bowl. I mean, and I bowl. I used to bowl more often than I do now. I used to bowl more tournaments, especially when we lived in Wisconsin, when we were up in Wisconsin, based there. But, you know, life changes, priorities change, not bowling as many tournaments as I once did.
Yeah, you're watching them and live streaming them. It's hard to bowl them when you're working them.
But I still bowl. I still bowl league. I still bowl nationals.
Yeah, we're on the team together in our office league at the ITRC.
That's right. That's right. We are. We're both together. Whenever we're both there, I think we've bowled together twice, like twice or something.
Yeah. So out of the half of the year so far, we've bowled twice together. Yeah.
But I do enjoy bowling, and I'm averaging about 185 or something in the sport league, and about 210 on a house shot when I bowl on a house shot. So I do bowl. I'm not like the worst bowler ever or something. I'm not.
No, you're not. You're definitely not the worst. I've seen worse.
There's much worse.
But the sport shot we're bowling on is actually the Open Championship pattern from last year, which was one of the toughest Open Championship patterns we've had in quite some time. And so
it's pretty hard.
185 is very solid on that.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, actually. And I got to give some kudos to Brian O'Keefe because he drilled me a ball after the first 3 weeks of the league when I was averaging 170, and, my scores started going up pretty quick. He got me matched up with a good ball, so. It was an older ball.
I know you don't adjust.
Ball,
you just
I just drill the ball. I don't want to move my feet. Kidding me? I don't want to think. So this game, we've got Amanda Fry, Samantha Kelly, who's a former junior team USA member, Christina Halen. And on the other pair, Ashley Dunn, Kayla Endicott, and Ashley Galante. Ashley Galante, of course, a former Team USA member.
Yep.
She made the team. God, she was really young.
Yeah, it's been a few years.
She's like 16 or 17 when she made Team USA in Reno.
I think
in Reno,
12,
so
yeah.
that's 12.
11 and a half.
She wasn't quite 12.
No, yeah, she's been a good bowler for a long time, and
and she's still really young. So
yeah, and it looks like she's plus. Does it say 52 over there? So she's
bowling good. Shot 237 last game, so 215, 237. Joe asking in the chat, have we announced what venue and the dates for next year's Team USA trials? And we talked about that a couple of days ago, but you can.
Yeah, we are going to be here on the same dates. When I say here, I mean Las Vegas. So we'll be in Las Vegas January 2nd through the 7th. 2nd will be practice, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 will be the 5 days of competition. But we have not chosen a bowling center yet. We're in the process of talking with a few different places and trying to figure out how we're going to get this done. We've been growing at about 20% per year, so we got to factor that into it and make sure we can get everybody in and not have it be crazy. So I figure within a couple of months here we'll have the official announcement of where we're going actually for the next 2 years. I'm trying to do a 2-year deal with not in the same center, but maybe the same company. Like last year we were at Texas Station, and now we're here at Sunset Station.
Because really most of the bowling centers in Vegas are owned by 2 companies, I guess is kind of the way it is, Station and Boyd.
Boyd, yep.
That's kind of how it is.
Yep, so if I want to find somebody that actually has 2 different centers that are big enough in Vegas for us to come, that's the two companies I need to talk with and am talking to. So hopefully I'll have an answer posted soon for everybody. But at least we know the location, Vegas, the dates, January 2nd through the 7th. And we'll just, once we have the bowling center and hotel combination determined, we'll get that posted and people can start signing up.
Ashley Dunn Heard that name before, haven't you?
Yep. She's on our U15 developmental Team USA, and she will be bowling the Tournament of Americas with USA on her back. She'll be representing the United States in the 15 and under division, which is fantastic. So her and Wesley Lowe, who is also here, will be coming to the training center this summer. I think it's June, and spend a couple days there with Rod and Kim and the Team USA staff and work on their game and prepare for that and hopefully improve their game. They obviously have good coaching, but if we can help in any way to, and I'm sure we will, focus on a few things to get them
to the next level.
Yeah. That'll be exactly what we're trying to do, and then we'll see them even more on Junior Team USA and Team USA in the future. That's the plan.
Wesley bowled really good today. Finished second for the day, and he might make Junior Team USA and not just the developmental team.
Yeah, that'll be fantastic.
He's right up there. Hey, it'd save you an airline ticket, right? Out of the budget.
Well, it's two different.
Two different budgets.
Two different camps. So.
It's two different camps.
So
I got
come
you.
twice.
He could double dip. And if he were to somehow make the big team, he'd have 3 times.
Yeah, he'd come 3 times. Yeah, exactly. Brianna Clemmer and Bradley Krause are the other 2 on the U15 team that'll be there training at the training center, as well as representing the United States at the Tournament of Americas.
Rance in the chat is suggesting Red Rock for this tournament next year, and I tell you, I would love to be at Red Rock. The problem is...
Yes, I would love to be there as well. The problem is I can't get room rates there that would allow for, especially all the young kids that are here, to be able to afford to come and bowl for a week.
Yeah. Red Rock's rooms are nice, but expensive. It's high end, yeah.
It's high end. It's a nicer place. Actually, not as many lanes. I would love to go there. I've inquired about it multiple times, but this is a good time of year for a lot of the hotels. It's not that busy time of year in Las Vegas, so we're going to stay around this time frame, but certain hotels become financially difficult or impossible.
But there are definitely no shortage of options to take the tournament to here in Vegas.
So it's a good question, a logical question, just financially difficult.
Yeah, stay tuned. We'll be letting you know where it's going to be in the coming months.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Red Rock to get desperate, and then I'll jump on
right. Amanda Fry, 4th frame, double spare to start this game for her. -10 on the day. It's a good shot.
Yeah, Christina is up on 53. Here she comes. She's got the front 3.
Yeah, she's in the red shirt coming up in just a minute. So we have the players doing the 1 pair courtesy.
Yes.
The double jump, I guess, is technically kind of what it's called, sort of. But
yeah, it's what's called in the PBA and regional PBA tournaments.
How's that been working out, you think?
I think it's been working well. I've only seen one time where somebody jumped up too soon because they wanted to clean off a spare.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go, front 4 for
very
Christina.
Nice.
Once you get it and get going, it's very quick and simple. And as you said, every half hour we're moving, and that's what makes this a little more consistent and easier to deal with. And it's when it's your turn, and you can kind of prepare to get up there. Whereas in the past, you do a 1 lane courtesy, and somebody 2 lanes away gets in your vision, or some people don't want to bowl. Then it just slows everything down because different people are trying to do different things, and this way everybody knows when they're up.
Yeah. It's actually pretty simple, because if I'm on 54, I wait for somebody on 55 and 56 to bowl, and I wait for somebody on 51 and 52 to bowl, and then I bowl.
Yeah, and they should be bowling at about the same time.
Yep.
Yeah, so you make sure they bowl on your right, make sure they bowl on the left, and then you go.
It works pretty smooth when it works good. I did see on the guys' side yesterday one, and you should never have on your pair, unless there's nobody next to you, somebody throw on 54 and then somebody bowl on 53 right away.
Exactly.
And I saw that yesterday, and the guys around him were like, what's going on? Because you could throw it out of whack pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's nice. It turns into a nice rhythm if it works right.
And then once everybody kind of gets it, if somebody screws it up very quickly, it's the players themselves that are like, hey, you're out of turn. You need to wait for this. And then it becomes quicker and easier for the staff. We don't have to sit there and try to pay attention to something like that. We can focus on things that are going to, help the bowlers and not be worrying about trying to yell at whoever's not doing it right. And this is the same as WTBA. World 10-Pin Bowling Association uses the same one-pair courtesy rule.
I don't think it goes quite as well there as it does here. I think that some of the language barriers make it hard, and it doesn't always go as smoothly at the world level. But these competitors, now we've had a lot of the same people coming back year after year, and they're starting to I think they really get the hang of it, and they understand it better each time they do it.
Yeah, when you get a group like this that obviously they all get it now, same with the guys.
Yep.
Then as long as you have like 80% or even 60% that know how to follow the rule, everybody else falls in compliance pretty easily because it's easy to understand if people are doing it right. But like you said, internationally, it's you got the language barrier. You're trying to say no, you're supposed to wait for this person, and they don't quite understand why, and so it's going to take a little more time, I think, internationally before everybody's on board.
And the other thing with the World Championships is that it's always been open World Championships, so any country can come compete. So you have varying levels of skills, and that won't be the case this year because you have to qualify. You had to qualify, I should say. Your country did.
Yeah. So each zone can send, we have 36 teams, so each zone, the American, European, and Asian zone, can send 12. So there's 12, 12, and 12. It's actually weighted a little bit, so it's not exactly 12, 12, and 12, but that's the whole
I think PABCON
gist
gets
of
a
it.
little less, but because we have less countries.
Or a smaller zone, exactly. But by laying it out that way, you're going to get the best countries from each zone. Each zone's going to be represented appropriately, and the best teams have a chance. So that makes the most sense. So once every 4 years we'll do it that way. It's essentially the same way they do it for, some Olympic events, but World Cup, different World Cups, whether it's rugby or soccer or what have you, you have to essentially qualify. And bowling's never really done that before on a world level, but we got to the point where we're having combined championships with the men and the women together, but it got so big that we couldn't find bowling centers that were big enough. There's only a handful of them, and most of them are in the U.S. that could even do it, and that became a problem. So they separated them out, men and women separately, and then quickly realized that we don't want to, we enjoyed it combined, and so once every 4 years we'll do it this way. So that's a good compromise, and it's the kind of thing that evolves just like everything else.
Jubal asks, if someone isn't bowling there this week, are they ineligible to be on Team USA? And the answer is no.
Correct. We have, so many people that will automatically come from this tournament onto Team USA, and then there'll be some selections from people that are here that'll go to Team USA. But then we've received a handful of resumes from people who aren't here, couldn't be here for whatever reason, and they will then be selected based on their resume. If you've been on Team USA for several years and have shown to the Team USA coaches and the selection committee that you know what you're doing and you're going to compete well for us internationally, there'll be a few that get selected that way as well. I fully anticipate to see, it'll be at least 5, maybe 6 or 7 men and at least 5 or 6 or 7 women from this event go on to Team USA, and there'll be 10 and 10 total for the men and the women. And then there'll be 4 boys and 4 girls that go on to Junior Team USA as well out of this tournament.
And someone asked me earlier who I think are locks to be selected for Team USA, and I said, It's really hard to say. The coaching staff will decide that, but are there a few people that I would be surprised if they're not on the team? Absolutely. But that's just based on their past history and skill level. Somebody like a Kelly Kulick or Chris Barnes. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not trying to put words in the mouth, and I have no inside information, but,
Yeah.
From an outsider standpoint, it'd be pretty stupid if they didn't put them on the team,
Understood, and that'll obviously.
And I know you
be part
can't
of-
really, speculate on anything either.
I'm not on the selection committee either, but yeah, I have the same thought process as you do.
But that's not our decision to make. But we will announce it, of course, on Monday night, tomorrow night, right after the stepladder finals. Michael wants to know, and he asked this on Twitter too, and I responded back and said no, but he wants to know if you're the narrator of the DV8 ball videos. And I'm pretty sure you're not, unless you have a secret job and I'm not aware of.
No, I am not. I do have a voice for radio, a face for radio. I screwed that up.
Nice job.
I have the comedy for radio, apparently. So I can't even get it right. Nobody had ever put me on TV. But no, even though I have a face for radio and a face for narrating, that's not me.
You really couldn't do that even if you wanted to because of the position that you hold, which is in charge of the equipment specs, which is in charge of approving bowling balls and that sort of stuff. So it'd be a conflict of interest for you to really be involved.
Might look bad if the guy who's approving balls is kind of selling or trying to sell or marketing the DV8 brand.
Well, apparently you have a voice double somewhere out there.
Yes, I have a very generic voice.
I think a lot of people are watching the Redskins-Seahawks game. Not a lot of chatter going on. I think people are watching kind of on their laptop or on their phone and not really chatting this afternoon.
That's what you'd like to think, I know. So.
Oh, I know that I'm watching the Redskins and the Seahawks right here on my phone.
No, you're not.
That's my second screen. I got it set up.
Second screen.
I can glance at the score every once in a while.
At least your third screen. What are you talking about?
Exactly. Third screen. You're true. That's true.
You got one, you got two, three.
Maybe four, technically.
And you got your email that you pop up there to look at
Yeah,
this,
I got all the tabs
scores.
open with the live scoring and the stats and everything.
Yeah. You're like a regular IT person over here.
Yeah, exactly.
We got to put you in charge.
Got a lot of stuff going on here. Nah, I don't want to be in charge of the IT stuff. That's asking for trouble. That's not a very thankful job. That's a thankless job. You don't, if it goes wrong, you really get hammered, and if it goes right, nobody gives you any praise.
It was easy. It should have been done.
It should have been.
No
Exactly.
problem. Seems like it should always be easy.
Ashley Galante. Haven't talked too much about her this game. She's up here in the 7th. And she's clean, one double, so she's kind of cruising along here. It's a good shot.
Yeah, it looked good.
And
And
she's
it
still
scored
throwing the
good.
ball great. I'm sure Ashley would love to get back on Team USA.
Yeah.
It's been a while since she's been in the program, but
She hasn't tried out for a couple of years
Yeah.
either, so it's good to see her back. I don't know how much time she spent on these WTBA type patterns.
she's definitely a good bowler, though. We see her
Yeah.
bowl the queens a lot.
That's
and she's done, pretty good.
Yep.
And now Ashley's working with our friends at the PBA on their extra frame. I don't know if you know that. She's helping them
Yeah,
out.
I saw her here in town
Yeah.
when they did the World Series over at South Point.
Yeah, she's been doing some side lane reporting for extra frame. I'm sure she'll be at the Masters, I would guess,
Yeah,
because they're doing the live streaming there.
Yeah.
And just got the updated standings in, so I'll call those up here on the laptop and take a look. Yep, Deandra is still in the lead. Kind of figured that would be the case. Plus 97. Got Shannon Plahowski in second at plus 84. Brianna Caldwell at plus 70. Ashley Galante at plus 52. So, Neil, what's the common denominator between the top four right now? As Beatty, Plahowski,
Team USA,
Caldwell, and Galante.
current or past.
Yep,
Yeah.
they've all been current or past Team USA. Morgan O'Brien in 5th place at plus 47. And Josie Ernest, another past Team USA member, is plus 35.
Current Team USA member.
Oh, yeah, well, not anymore.
Yeah, I guess so.
Her term expired about 5 days ago.
Okay, fine. I'll give you that one.
Yeah, this is we got a kind of a window here. We don't have any Team USA members for a few days.
That's true. I don't know if that's ever happened because we usually at least announce ahead of time some of them, but we didn't do that this year. We will announce them all live tomorrow night.
Yeah. Amanda Fry can shoot 227 if she strikes on the fill. Samantha Kelly looking at 203 if she strikes here. And Christina Halen still putting together a big game. She can get to 279. Kind of quietly under the radar here. Saw her had the front 4, and then after that, just kind of quietly has gotten another 4-bagger after making a spare. We'll definitely show you all of her 10th frame.
Yeah, as soon as I started talking about her front 4, then she left the 10-pin, and so I tried not to jinx her again. So now guaranteed 10-pin in here in the 10th. Ashley Galani got her double. Ashley Dunn is still clean, but hasn't been able to get a double together yet. Yep, Amanda finished with a 226, Amanda Fry.
Yep, it's a good game.
Samantha Kelly, 203.
And here is Christina Halen. She's minus 66 or 68, can't read that, coming into this game, but she could get the plus if she strikes out.
Yep, she sure will.
Let's see what happens.
It's a little high.
High flush.
Sat right there, though.
Thank you very much. She'll take that. Look at you. Blew on the like that.
Yeah.
Blew on the fingers.
I mean, she knew what she was doing.
That's right.
Or we're supposed to think so.
Danielle McEwen, 9th place so far today. So she's, I think if she can find another top 10 finish, she'll be in pretty decent shape.
Yep, I agree with you.
Becky wants to know roughly what time is the announcement tomorrow, and it'll be the finals are going to start at 6 Pacific time, so that's 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, which is probably about because Becky's in England, it's about 3 o'clock in the morning or something for you.
Yeah, something like that.
But the announcement will be right after the stepladder finals end, immediately following. Leaves a 7-pin, still 260. That's a great game.
Yep.
Take that all day long.
Pick it up for a 258.
268.
Yeah.
It's only had one spare in there.
Like
10 pins can be really important in this format.
Yep.
But and if Becky, if you can't stay up and watch it, the recorded version will be available, Monday night after we're done. So you'll be able to go back and watch it on our YouTube channel here whenever you want. Good
point. Yeah, we'll have 2 games live, and then the announcement of the rest of the team will be immediately following that. So, 7:15, something like that.
Joe wants to know how I'm streaming the game on my phone. I have what's called a Sling Box. You have one of those?
I do not.
Yeah, Sling Box hooks up to your cable box at home and your internet, and you get an app and you can watch your box at home. But
I travel enough. I've thought about getting one, but I just haven't done it.
It's really nice. Sling Box is what it's called. Ashley Dunn leaves the 7-pin.
See, here's an example of speed that I was talking about. Deandra kicked up her speed, but she still had enough tilt and rotation to get some back end and get through the pins. But Ashley's speed has made it very difficult for her to strike. Her ball's having a hard time carrying anything in the back row when you get down to it. There's always something in the back row. Yeah. So we've finished up with the 53 and 54.
Yep.
And we have one more frame essentially on 51 and 2.
Pretty much going right on schedule. They should finish this game about 3:40, and it's 3:45, 3:34, so getting pretty close to. And the next game should be getting underway in just a couple of minutes. Although I see a breakdown over here. So I think that there are some pairs that are running a little behind now. Down here, still in the 6th frame where they had to make the move. Because remember, they got to move all the way from the low end to the high, and that takes some time. So
that's true. And as I'm looking at what maybe looks like 39 and 40, it looks like they're in the 3rd frame down there.
I can call that up.
39 and 40.
It's actually not showing. It may be covering it up because it's down.
3rd frame, 4th frame.
Yeah, so that's going to slow things down a little bit.
There's going to be a ripple effect right there.
Yep.
That's too bad.
That happened on the guys' side, too, this morning. I think something Rod was saying that at the end something got out of whack a little bit.
On, I think it was 9 and 10. Does that sound right?
9 and 10. Yeah, the table broke or something in the pin deck or something like that.
Yeah, so luckily with the women, we got a few extra lanes. We don't have quite as many women. And so they're bowling on 7 and 8 instead of 9 and 10 down there. But 39 and 40, that pair is going to be way behind, and it's unfortunate.
The women are still bowling pretty quick, and they'll make up the time pretty fast. But
yeah, it's true.
The good news is, still probably be done by 5:30 at the latest.
Yeah.
So,
but we've had good luck here this week. Not many breakdowns compared to this tournament in years past. We do some unique things, as we've been talking about. Right lane moves right, left lane moves left, and there really aren't any tournaments in the U.S. that do that. And we do that here, and it throws a lot of systems for a loop, and we have problems. And then, of course, you just have your typical lane breakdowns when you have 70 lanes of pin setters going. That's going to happen.
Ashley's having a good game here. Ashley Galante. She's got 5 in a row now.
She had a double earlier, and she stayed clean.
So she's really turned it up a notch here at the end of this game, and can get to 242 with a strike on the fill. So that's a great game.
And she was already plus 50-something.
52, it looks like.
So that one was a little late. 230.
239?
Yep, 239.
I put her at 91 over for the first 3. That's pretty solid.
Yes, it is. Ashley Dunn's fill ball on 52. It looks like she's stuck there and finally got the strike. All right.
She's playing pretty direct, didn't she? But she didn't miss any spares. So 191 clean.
Correct. She only had 2 strikes.
Yep. Didn't throw a double, but didn't hurt herself.
Yep, that's called grinding it out.
Yep.
But I think the ball speed and her angle there are kind of critical, and if that continues, that's going to be tough to start putting together some scores.
She's still young and still in the developmental stage. She's going to get better, and the tools in her game are going to get stronger, and she'll get better over time.
Yep, those are the kind of things that will be discussed at the ITRC training camp for her.
Kayla Endicott, she can get to 163 now. She makes that spare. We're already seeing a little bit of a delay in getting started with the next game here because 53 and 54, 55, 56 have been dark for a little while. That could be fast bowling or,
A lot of the high end is done and finishing up, but the low end is having some of the issues, as we said.
Yeah, and they're still just in the 4th frame down on that one pair. And yes, 9 and 10 are out of play, just for those of you who are watching the live scoring. 7 and 8 is the pair that all those bowlers move to.
So what are we missing here in the football game? What's the score for?
Last I saw 14-13, still at 14-13 Washington.
That's a tight game.
And it's looks like a minute 34 left in the 3rd quarter, and Washington has the ball.
Well, Washington was a 2-point favorite.
Yeah, we were talking about that last night after we were done here. Thought it was going to be a pretty close game. You liked Seattle, I think you said.
Yeah, I'm like, you give me points, I think I'll take it. It should be close, so I might as well take the points.
Although I think, I'm watching the game, they almost had a safety there on that one. We can talk football because there's no bowling going on the featured pairs.
Yeah, as long as the NFL doesn't sue us, we'll be okay.
My feed here is a little delayed anyway, so the people watching at home have already seen what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Then add the delay on the top of from our live stream.
Yeah, we got double delay
yeah,
here.
It's like a minute behind. Looks like they're working on 48 now, too. Mechanics are working overtime right now.
Apparently.
Sometimes I panic when I look down and I see, look at that 35 and 36. It's dark right now. It must be down. But the pin setter's shut off between games, so it kind of fools you a little bit.
Got some that are done and some that are being worked on, so it's unfortunate. I know they've been doing a great job all week, so I know they're working hard to just get it right back up.
It's got to be hard to be a mechanic in a 72-lane center. I imagine they have more than one back there.
Yeah, they've had 3 all week as far as I know, because I know there was one time where we had one just sitting on a low 60s because we were having an issue, and then we still had 2 more available. So I think we probably still have 3. But, yeah.
It's a lot of lanes to cover.
Yeah. Even with 3, it's a lot of lanes to cover because, we're working on 48 right now, so now it's even less.
Talk about thankless jobs. Being a pin setter mechanic is, you don't see them, you don't even know. I mean, they do a lot of work back there, and it's more than just fixing things when they break. A good mechanic does a lot of preventive maintenance to make sure things don't break. They work on things in advance.
Yeah, and then they got to run the lane machine and work on the lane machine and make sure it's going to be ready to go. One mechanic said to me years ago, you could spend all your time on the pin setters, and if one pin setter goes down, the bowling center's got a pair of lanes down, and that's it. But if the lane machine goes down, all your lanes are going to be down. You won't be able to oil for league, and everybody's going to be unhappy.
Or you bust out the towel and the mop and the bucket of oil, and I've actually seen that happen before.
Yeah, good luck doing that on 72 lanes. That'll take a little while, too.
That actually happened about 5 years ago. I was bowling a tournament. The lane machine broke. They literally brought out oil and a mop and put oil on the lane. Yeah. And I was like, I would like a refund, please. I'm just going to go ahead and go home now. No, thank you.
Yeah. I did that when I was younger.
I bet you did. I don't even know what they're called. Center. There's like a little squeegee thing or something.
Dust-a-liner.
Dust-a-liner. There you go.
Yeah, there's a few ways to attack that. And the spray gun and dust-a-liner and some towels. That's the way to wall up some lanes by hand.
Yeah.
It was easier back then, too, because you didn't have to put as much oil on the lane. So
that's true.
Just go down the middle and touch the outsides, and you could have a pretty good shot, at least for back then. Still not as easy as it is out today in most house shots, and the ability to have a lane machine repeat that every time. And it's crazy.
Well, we've got some bowling finally happening here on our featured pairs. And 51 and 52 is Marina Stever, Taylor Bluthus, and Courtney. Now, I don't know Courtney's last name. Here we go. Partino. It's on her shirt, thankfully, because her name is first name's a little long and her last name's a little long, so it bumps it off the monitor, I think. And 53 and 54, just getting started here with Jordan Richard, Jordine Koizumi, and Michelle Hunsaker.
Yep.
Hunsaker. I need to start sitting in the tournament office. I should have at the beginning of the week when they check in and have to say their last name.
Yeah,
and then I could have just sat there and made notes as to how to say the last names. I was thinking about that when I was eating my lunch when they were checking in. Because it's almost impossible to know how to say 200-plus names,
Yeah.
Especially at the World Championships, it's a disaster.
Yeah, it gets a little harder there, too.
Usually we just call them by the country at that point, which is good enough.
Yeah, bowler number 5 from Korea is up now.
The Korean names aren't too hard, actually. They're pretty straightforward.
And we've seen them a lot, but you're right.
But some of the
bowler number 5 from Kazakhstan.
Yeah, Even Finland, some of the names can get a little hard.
Oh yeah, all the vowels they
Yeah.
have. They love their K's and their
They
U's
do,
in
yeah.
Finland.
O's and U's, and yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, how long did it take for everybody in the U.S. to learn how to say Koivaniemi?
Yeah, exactly. And to spell it even, you know?
Yeah, I don't even know how to spell it. Yeah.
I have to spell it when I'm typing press releases and stuff, so I've learned how to spell it without looking it up. But
Not me.
speaking of Finns, is Pekka the tournament director for the World Championships?
Yes, he is.
Ah, very nice.
He's
Pekka
an
is
excellent tournament director. I'm looking
very
forward to
good.
having him here.
That is a guarantee things will run very smoothly right there because he doesn't stand for any nonsense.
Yep, things will be on time if he has anything to do with it.
It'll be a good tournament. I'm really looking forward to the World Championships here at the Sunset Station.
I am too, but at the start of week 2, maybe we'll have a different answer.
Week 2, so what about week 3 when the Queen starts?
Yeah, well, I'll be heading home.
You'll be going home.
You can stay here.
Fortunately, I'll actually have some help for that stretch. So somebody will be here. We guess it'll be Jason Overstreet, but maybe Matt Cannizzaro or maybe both. Who knows? You know, it's a long stretch. A lot of hours to be worked in a three-week stretch. If you're a bowling fan, it's going to be awesome because there's pretty much going to be bowling on all the time.
That's true.
It's almost going to be like the World Series of Bowling. They go for like 10 straight days. You know, we're going to be double that. You know.
Yeah, and then there's the World Senior Championships, which is before that, so we won't be live streaming that.
Not be live streamed.
But there'll be updates, available, and so it'll be 4 weeks in a row of major tournaments. In
and
August,
then
August
just before
September.
that, the World Games will be going on. So
Yep,
it's
Cali,
a
Columbia.
very busy time.
That overlaps with the Tournament of Americas.
Yes.
So coaches will be spread thin for Team USA.
For the month of August. The bowling combine is usually in August. Have you guys talked about that at all?
It's going
to be in July.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody asked about that the other day. And I said, usually it's in August, but with everything that's going on with the coaching staff and availability of them, it might get pushed a little bit back or forward. So that's good to know. So July, probably late July, I would guess, huh?
I had the date written down in my office on my desk, but
okay.
I haven't been there in a couple of weeks, so I don't recall now.
Well, there'll be more information on that on bowl.com. So.
That's correct, and actually I think the date should be up on bowlingitrc.com.
Okay.
I haven't checked it.
See if I can look on bowlingitrc.com and see if it's on there.
Yeah, Michelle's off to a good start. Hunziker. She goes by Shell, I believe.
Yeah, looks like it.
it.
Shell or Shelly or who knows. Jordan Richard.
Just a bit high there. We still have the ripple effect kind of on the low end to the middle. So it's going to be tough, I think, next game, getting the next pair, or get the next group here going on the TV pair.
And let's see, I'm doing the next game should be okay because they're all bowling right now.
Okay.
But it might be a couple of minutes delayed. No, we missed it. She almost made the 4-9 there.
Yeah. Cut it in front.
Cut it in front. We talked about that earlier, too.
I hate it when that happens. And I don't think she likes it either. Shell with her 4th in a row, first front 4. So we have a variety of different bowlers up and down here. Some are middle of game 4 here. Some have not finished game 3. Some are just starting game 4 or just finished game 3 down here. So
anytime I see red marks on a scoreboard and they're running behind, that's never a good sign.
Yeah.
It looks like they're going again, though. That's the positive thing.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's a good point.
So at least it's moving again.
So I'm going to go down there and yell at them to hurry up.
You give them a red card for bowling slow, right?
Yeah, that always
even though it's
that
not
always
their
helps.
fault.
Yeah, that always helps. They never get upset about that.
Doesn't look like the dates were on the bowlingitrc.com
Okay.
site for the combine, but we'll ask Rod. Maybe we have an answer if he knows, and see if we can tell you tomorrow.
Yeah, we know it's, and I think it's been put out there somewhere, but I just can't recall the exact dates. And the summer is so packed that all the dates are running together for me because
It's going to be a really busy summer.
It is.
It's shaping up to be pretty crazy.
From Bowl Expo till the end of the Queens is just packed with Junior Gold and all the other tournaments we talked about.
Yeah, the PabCon Youth in Puerto Rico.
PabCon Youth. It will be interesting.
Jubal says he was there last summer. Great experience. So yeah, I think a lot of people who partake in the combine really enjoy that experience.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. You know, I've heard that and seen that from quite a few people, but we've had a huge turnout. We had to turn people away. It's the kind of thing you have to apply for, and you know, we're trying to help bowlers as they get into college. We're trying to get coaches the key data, key information that they need to make some decisions. We had some scholarship offers right then and there on site for at least a couple of the girls, and it's just fantastic. And I know afterwards there were several, quite a few more follow-ups. It's great information for the coaches, great information just for the kids themselves, and I think it helps a lot of the kids make their way into collegiate bowling. And we've done it a couple of years. We talked about it for a couple of years before that, so we laid things out, but we're still tweaking it. We're still doing more and different things. So it's we're very happy with it and proud of it.
Oh no!
Just a bit outside.
Yeah, and that was on a 3-bagger too.
Yeah.
That's never good. If you're gonna do that, do it on 1 strike, not 3.
Yeah.
But I've watched the last couple of shots. It's looked pretty good. She's playing pretty far right, and it's probably a different part of the lane than a lot of people are playing, I think, on this. But the ball's rolling up, setting up nice for her. So got to keep it on the lane, though.
There were a few of the guys that were playing a lot further right than everybody else and doing well. Janowitz was one. Even though this is a medium pattern, saw a few people throw in like the natural.
Yeah, Rhino
kind of
was throwing a urethane ball.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of something far outside, even though this is more of a medium pattern.
Got to see if she can regroup here and make the spare. Marina Stever.
You can really save it here if you can cover this. Otherwise, it's like a double open if you don't. And she got lucky, so
yeah.
Got unlucky and got lucky all in the same frame.
It's funny how usually if somebody throws it in the gutter playing that far right, the next move is what? They pull it.
Yeah.
So she pulled it a little bit. Luckily, she didn't pull it enough that it was too bad.
Yeah, you got 3 in a row. You know you're throwing it good, but you lose one or you're playing that close to the edge, and it's hard to just get that next one right on target again.
It is. You're so afraid you're going to do it again. Nobody wants to be embarrassed by throwing a double gutter.
Especially on a 3-bagger.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
talk about losing a lot of pins.
Yeah, you get like 7 or 8 typically, and that's just about as brutal. And she's up again right away, so she can get right back up.
Just saw Leanne Holsenberg miss a 10-pin. It's never good.
It's not common.
Plus
Not a common
56
occurrence.
for the first 3. I'll tell you, her ball reaction looks pretty good.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's not too busy.
It's pretty simple,
Yeah.
you know? Not
So
trying to
she's-
do anything too fancy.
Yeah, so she spared it, got right back on with another one, so hopefully she can just move ahead. Oh, I think
Tennille just gave you the red card.
Yeah, I think Tennille's out-handing red cards. So she went down there and started yelling at him for me, I think. That's good. Glad to see that.
It's funny. Don't get on Tennille's bad side. She'll come
Hurry
get
up.
you.
I know your lane broke down, but hurry up. Bowl now. No, we're just kidding. We wouldn't do that. You know, it's too important of a tournament, too important of an event. Making Team USA is a lifetime type achievement, and it's just important for people to focus on bowling. But it's easy for me to sit up here and joke around or make fun of them at their expense.
Koizumi with the strike in the 6th.
That was a nice ball.
Let's see what happens here. I bet
Yeah.
she throws bet she throws another good shot here. Let's see. That's
Yep,
that
looks
looks
good.
pretty good. That
Oh,
left.
hi, wow.
Yeah. I think it kind of was a
Hey.
little left off her hand.
Must have been, but my
Yeah.
angle on 51, it looked similar to
Similar,
me, but
yeah.
my angle is a little bit different, so maybe it was higher.
It looked like she maybe came
Of course.
over
Yeah.
the top of it a little bit on that shot. She's lucky that it was just the 8. That's a good 8
Yeah.
right there.
Either those two lanes have a different reaction, or
Yeah.
just my angle was a little weird because I thought it looked pretty similar.
It's part of the problem with playing that part of the lane sometimes is that if you miss a little left, sometimes it'll just kind of check up on you and keep going, you know?
Yep.
Don't have a lot of room for error. She might have just got it going a little left too quick.
Yeah, usually when you're doing that, if you want to miss with speed. Yeah. You want to miss with direction.
Natalie Goodman wants to know the pattern they're bowling on tomorrow and what is the length. And it's London,
Yep.
and it's
40
feet?
4.
44 or 40? I can't remember. I don't have it.
Yeah, Paris is 47 and London is 44.
So it's kind of a longer pattern, I guess. Is it in the long
Yeah,
bank?
it's in the long,
Yeah,
it's a long category.
but not as long as
As long
Paris.
as Paris.
But,
Paris is the longest at 47.
but probably has more volume than Paris.
Oh yeah, it does, definitely.
So it might play a little longer.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good way to put it. It might play a little bit longer. It won't hook as much.
Yeah, you might not see your ball hook quite as much on that pattern. It's kind of weird to think of it that way, but you can't really look at patterns just in terms of length. There's so much more involved in it than just what the length is.
Yeah, length is a key component, but volume is a key component, and then the load structure is probably the next thing.
Yeah, Dell was talking about the buff at the end of the pattern that
Yep.
can have a big impact.
Yeah, if you buff a lot going forward and then don't buff that distance coming back, it'll be long, but it'll be thin, and that's kind of the way Paris is. Koizumi, is that how you say her name? Koizumi?
I would assume so. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got a double. There's a couple of nice shots there.
She bowls collegiately. I can't remember where. Might be UNLV here in Las Vegas, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Or it's Joe Schmo State, or what's the matter you? Not
Nice.
sure which. Sally Struthers University, I think, has a team now. I don't think she bowls for them, though.
There's a lot of teams out there. Maybe Arizona. She's in Tempe, Arizona, so she's.
Yeah, okay.
I knew it was somewhere out west that she bowled collegiately. Yeah, Arizona State. Thank you in the chat. Sometimes I have a hard time remembering all the college bowlers. There's so many teams and so many bowlers now. And I don't get to see a lot of the West Coast teams too often.
Shell with another double after leaving a 6-pin in the 6th frame. A little high, I think it was, a couple of frames ago.
Uffman says, I would love this live stream if I could comment. Well, I read your comment, so you're good. It's on there.
Yeah, we don't want any jokes though. We want to be very serious.
That's right.
So go ahead and comment. But if it's not funny, or if it is funny, I don't know.
Something must have happened in the game because people just went crazy. And it looks like the Redskins just gave up a touchdown to the Seahawks. So I think the Seahawks just took the lead.
Is that an interception or what was that?
I don't think so. It's not good. Not going to be good in the Wiseman household though, because the other half is a Redskins fan.
Yeah.
She tells me the only reason you cheer for the Redskins is because you don't want me to be mad. And I'm like, yeah. That's
true.
exactly right.
Something to be said there.
Yeah, it's a long run, 25, 30 yards.
Marshawn Lynch, apparently.
Oh, open frame there for Courtney in the ninth. She was bowling good this game too, 194 in the ninth. And she's
Yeah, it's one of those typical things where, she had the 2-8-10 sitting there and the 10 kicked out. So, okay, now I can pick this up easily, and then you miss it. Hate it when that happens because, you got the gift, and then you turn around and give it right back. I've never done that, though. Not today, anyways.
They got some good scores on 51 and 52 going this game.
Yeah,
they all got a chance to be over 200
solid,
here.
Yeah.
Marina can get to 230 if she strikes out. It's a good one.
Yep.
They're cheering for her.
Except for that gutter ball.
Yes.
Yeah, she's still clean despite that.
Oh, if she'd have struck on that one.
Yeah.
She probably cost her 30 pins.
Taylor had a split, and then Courtney's open, but that's it for the three of them.
Yeah.
Bowling well together. And a 10 pin. That's nice.
Yeah. She can max at 214. And Hunsiger also bowling well, so he says Koizumi. So we got some good scores going here on these two pairs. You can follow along on the live scoring if you want to see exactly what the scores are on these pairs. 51 and 52, 53, 54, and that's a bit outside. But look at it come back almost to the pocket.
Yeah, it was definitely light, though.
Yeah. Didn't go in the gutter, though, so that's a bonus.
We never let anybody forget that stuff.
That's right. Koizumi, that one got away from her a bit. And so she's going to be shooting a spare.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody likes to bowl on the TV pair, the feature pair, because we start talking about them, and then
we start getting complaints in the tournament office. Hey, those guys, jokers on the live stream, are saying bad things about me. We don't try to say anything bad. We're just being funny.
Or we think we're funny.
We think we're funny.
That's all that matters to me.
Until Neil calls somebody 11 years old when they're really 17 or 18. It's not funny anymore.
Yeah, it was still funny. As long as I think it's funny. It doesn't matter. I think he's right here.
Yeah, you're right, he is.
There he is.
He's hanging out down here. Jacob Camacho.
Sorry, Jacob. I was only joking.
I'll tell you, every time I've seen him bowling in front of us here, it seems like he's been bowling pretty good. So I have no idea where he's at in the standings, but it seems like he's always doing good in front of the cameras. Maybe he just likes the camera. Not sure. Definitely got some talent, though.
Yep. Good release, good ball roll. That's more than half of the battle right there.
Apparently, the Seahawks got the 2-point conversion. So now they're up 7.
See, there's my 2 points right there.
Yeah, so it's 21-14, I believe.
Yeah.
Seahawks. I wonder how many people are watching the football game and also watching the live streaming at the same time.
Well, there's at least one.
Yeah, me.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of people in the chat that are watching both.
Yeah, like Lucas, who told you there was a 2-point conversion. Lucas Mildrum.
Yeah. See how many subscribers we're up to. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. We're getting close. 9,931. Yeah.
Okay.
We started this about a year ago, so it's pretty good. We're doing all right in our quest. So if you don't subscribe to the channel, there's a button that says subscribe above the video. So click that, and you can become a subscriber. It's free. Set up email updates and get alerts whenever we have a new video posted here on our YouTube channel. So
Yes, please do that.
yeah, it's pretty cool. We're going to get to 10,000 before tomorrow. That was my goal, to try to get there by tomorrow.
So Courtney on lane 51 finished out with a 2:11, and
Marina had 217.
2:17, and looks like Taylor should be at 2:05 if she strikes.
Not too many opens on that pair, you notice.
No, yeah, very,
Just a couple
very
of them.
solid.
So 204.
2:04.
Pretty good game.
Yep, all solid games on this pattern.
Yep. And Koizumi's going to shoot 213 if she strikes again, because she's got a double in the 10th now.
Yep.
And Michelle Hunsaker can strike across the fill for 246. We got some good scores going on here. Jordan Richard can get to 196. So it's pretty decent. I wonder if that's those are the same kind of scores we're seeing across the house.
Seems like this pair is one of the first ones getting done. I see some 210, 193, 232. So yeah, some pretty good scores out there.
Yeah.
That's, a little higher than I would expect on this pattern. I don't know if that's going to be the case up and down the bowling center, but compared to what we saw this morning, compared to what I would expect out of this tougher Atlanta pattern, it's pretty good. Koizumi, 213, as you predicted.
Yep, she did. She struck out in the 10th. Had a good back half of that game. Had 3 in a row, 8 spare, 3 in a row. And just so you guys know that the standings are going to be a little delayed now because things are kind of out of whack with the breakdown they had down there. And so they're now starting game 4 on some pairs. And that's going to obviously lead to things getting a little out of whack as we move along on this squad. And
correct.
so keep that in mind. Although, look, the names have just popped up, and we're about to start game 5. So you're going to have some start in game 5 and some just start in game 4. So that happens sometimes.
Yeah, we should still finish, 5:30 anyways. When
Yeah,
we're all
I
said
think
and done with.
5:30 at the latest. Just got the standings after game 3 in my inbox. So let's open that up. Deandra 724. Andrea Esbady at 724. Brianna Caldwell at 694. Morgan O'Brien 693. Ashley Galante 691. Josie Ernest 689.
A lot of essentially 700s. That's big scores.
Yeah. Only 20 bowlers at 600 or better though. So,
so either you know what you're doing or you're grinding it out.
And half of them are under 620s or 620 or so or less. So there's some really high scores, but then it kind of tails off pretty quick. It looks like. So Deandra is bowling well. I don't see Danielle McEwen here. Oh, Danielle shot 160 in game 3 and dropped to 30th. So she was our leader coming into the day. And that could have a big impact if she were to stay 30th for the day. That'll shake up the standings there. Like right now,
she's dropped to 6 overall.
Dropped to 6th overall if it stayed that way. And Deandra in the lead at this stage. So Missy Parkin
in second. People move up and down, and she stays right there.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's look at some of the people who've been real consistent over the first few days. Deandra, Missy, Jackie Carbonetto, Josie Ernest, Danielle McEwen, a lot of them just real steady. Elise Bolton. But here, Elise Bolton is now dropped to 34th on the day. So she must have had a bad third game as well. Let's see. Yeah, Elise shot 162 at 160 as well. So you had a couple of people bowl some bad games in game 3, and a bunch of people bowl really well. So that's can quickly jumble up those overall standings.
Yeah, especially game 1, 2, 3 before things settle out. Game. You get through game 5 and game 6, then you're a little more solid.
Looks like we've got we're underway on 51 and 52. Dan and Terry, Savannah Carr, and Sarah D. Sciocia. You think I would DeSocia? Is that DeSocia? Thank you, DeSocia. You think I would learn how to say that name because she's been on the featured pairs, I think, all 4 days. So she's been very fortunate.
Well, we were waiting until you got it right.
Yeah, I was never going to get it right. Yeah. I'm terrible at this. Apparently, RG3 is hurt.
I heard he got hurt earlier, and so they've continued to try to have him play, and that's not been so good.
And he lost a fumble at his own 5, so that's bad news.
Like since the touchdown?
Yes.
Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah, I think that the Redskins might be in trouble.
Yeah. Like you said, I thought it was going to be a close game, so give me points on either team. I was going to take the points.
Going to have Kristen Johnson, Brianna Amidon, and Erica Schneider on the featured pair, 53-54. Yeah, we're going to have to work on the lane rotation for next year because I'm seeing a lot of very familiar names every game, every day it seems like. And
yeah, we need to make sure they're mixed up. Everybody needs to hit as many pairs as possible. We don't want them doubling up on the same pairs or tripling up on the same pairs. So we'll definitely take a look at that. We have a new, random system that places them in first, but obviously it's not totally random. I think it's random off of day 1, and then there's generic changes after that. I'll have to learn and understand how that works and see if we can make some tweaks.
Yeah, there's so many variables and factors and how many entries you have, how many lanes you use, all affects.
Yeah, because the number of pairs, you may think.
Wow, look at that strike.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome.
You get the number of pairs, and next thing you know, when you go from one side to the other, you're right back on top of where you were. But in other cases, it doesn't. If you have an odd number of pairs, actually, it's better.
Yeah.
If you have an even number of pairs, then it's gets to be a potential problem as far as covering the house and getting on different pairs. I don't know if that explanation made any sense whatsoever to anybody else, but I knew what I was talking about.
All I know is it's hard to do sometimes to get the cross when you got this many games, this many days, and you want to get everybody across the house.
Yeah.
I mean, the easiest way to do it would be you just move one pair to your right, and but then you don't get into different areas of the house on the same day. If one bank of the house is easier than the other, then that causes problems. But
right.
So you got to come up with a pattern to make it work.
Yeah, you want to cover as much of the house as possible, but bowl on different pairs as much as possible, and I think we're missing that a little bit. But you also want to make sure you're not bowling with the same people every day too. So, and that's happened to us in the past, since that was one of the things we were trying to change. So I think we got people bowling with different people, but ultimately it seems like we're hitting some of the same pairs. That might be hard to predict until you know exactly how many people you have and where they're starting, and if we have an even number or an odd number. So we'll work on that. Seeing a few unique strikes there on 53.
It actually looks like the delay down on that low end may not impact our featured pairs because they've already started down here. So we're good on the low end.
Far enough away.
And we're good on the high end. So actually what will happen is our live stream will probably go offline when some people still have a game to go.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like, or 7 or 8 frames.
Yeah.
Looks like the Seahawks kicked a field goal. If somebody in the chat can let us know how much time is left in the game, that would be appreciated because I can't read the time. Kristen Johnson, she shredded the rack last shot. Let's see if she does it again here. 10 pin.
Not quite. 6 pin died in the gutter.
Apparently 5.5 minutes to go. Thank you, guys. Jason Overstreet tune in right now. He'd be like, what are they doing talking about football? What's wrong with those guys?
I'm going to kill them.
Stick to the bowling. Well, hey, when you live stream for this many hours in the course of a 5-day stretch, every once in a while you're going to talk about something other than bowling. I think we should start a new game on the broadcast here with you, Neil. Guess the age of the participant. See how that works. Kind of like at the fair when you go and they'll guess your age if you can win a prize.
I would lose a lot of money. I guess Erica at 12. Kristen, 12 and a half.
Well, Kristen was wearing a Lindenwood shirt, I think, the other day, so I'm pretty sure she's not 12 and a half.
Well, maybe she's already committed.
Yeah, exactly.
They're getting pretty serious nowadays.
Here's Sarah in the 4th. Can't buy a strike. Leanne Holsenberg's looking pretty distraught over there.
She's left a lot of single pins over there. I've watched a few of them.
She hasn't thrown a double, and she's shooting 180. Missed a
10
single
pin,
pin.
6 pin, 9 pin. She's going to shoot a $184 yet. Kim Eulis left a split over there on lane 56 in the 10th. In the 11th, so she had struck, but so she pulls out a 203 over there.
Danielle McEwen is off to our right here. I just noticed. Just split in the 10th. And
big one, too.
Yeah, she could have struck out for 238, and now she's looking at 2-0.
Yeah.
And after shooting 160, she really could have used a 230 game, you know? It's amazing. In this format, a split in the 10th frame just really kills you because you only get 10 frames in a set. So
they're all key.
To have an open, it really hurts.
Yeah. That's the pressure. That's the pressure we have internationally.
It is.
To the 10th frame,
sure.
And you gotta come through.
Because in the World Championships, everybody bowls 6 games in the singles, but you cut to the top 4, and it's a harsh cut.
Yeah.
You can't give away pins.
Yep. And you got to jump on it right away, and you got to finish the 10th. We can't give away those pins, so that's important to us.
So that's why we have this format to kind of try to mimic some of the pressures you're going to feel in the international events.
Yeah.
Try to 206 for McEwen, though.
Yep. She got the count, like you said.
Yeah.
2 is 4. She was on a strike.
She's going to be disappointed, though, with that one. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I think she's kicking the ball return and slamming her ball down over there right now.
She's pretty intense. Deandra.
Cussing out her mom. Yeah.
Deandra was here yesterday talking with us for a while, and she said that Danielle reminds her a lot of her when she was younger.
Yeah.
Just the intensity and the, every shot matters. Got to have it,
Yeah.
Deandra says Deandra's mellowed out a little bit, and as she's gotten older, but she sees some of that fire in Danielle that she had when she was younger.
Yeah, except for the height, I think I can kind of see that.
Yeah. Danielle's pretty tall. She could have been a volleyball player or something, I bet,
She can dunk 2 basketballs. I saw her do it the other day. Palms, one each hand, jumps up, dunks them both.
It's pretty impressive. We should get that on video.
It is.
Mariana asked, is it possible to have a camera on each pair? And basically, you just tune in and watch whichever pair you want. Somebody asked that yesterday. I wish we had thought about that.
Let's do that.
Unfortunately, you have to have, for each camera, you have to have a power source. For each camera, you have to plug it into a laptop, which means you need a power source for a laptop. For the laptop, you need an internet connection. For an internet connection, you need it to be strong enough. And by the time you do all that, it's very cost prohibitive, and
then
we'd end up with cables all over the bowling center, and there'd be no room for anybody to watch.
Yeah, and then security would come in and rip down all the cables,
exactly.
And nothing would work anyways.
Yeah, it's.
Sorry, we're not making fun of you.
No, we're just having fun. Yeah, we're just having
Mariana.
fun.
But we had some security people through here last couple of days moving our stuff around because they don't want anybody tripping on anything.
Yeah, they made it worse.
But so that was part of it. Oh, Erica left a very nice 10-pin there. I love that one. You got to love that. She it was about half over and stood right back up.
Don't you hate that? It's like 49.9% of the way over, and it just kind of wobbles back up.
Yep. ABC specifications say that if it reaches 11 degrees, it's supposed to fall over.
Yeah, you would know.
Yeah, that's not true, but that's what Bull Burton used to say
is it?
on ABC
Oh,
TV.
I thought you meant American Bowling Congress, but ABC TV, yeah.
He used to say things like that. I talked to Bo one time, and he said, "Oh, he used to make stuff up
just
like
make that stuff up. Yeah.
And it was good for TV, you know." He was right.
Yeah, it is good for TV because generally people won't know any different.
And then she misses it. That's always painful. You should have had it in the first place, and then leave it on the spare. It's too bad. I was just going to look. We had Megan Buja, our star of tomorrow, finish right next to us, and she had a decent game going, but I missed her finish.
I can tell you. She shot 226.
226, so she finished pretty strong. A lot of 9 counts there.
Yeah.
So what does that mean if you're the star of tomorrow last year?
Star of yesteryear.
How does that work? Not quite sure how that works. She was the star of tomorrow?
She was the star of tomorrow, yeah.
Okay.
Kristen Johnson looking for a double. Instead, it is a split.
She's thrown some good balls, but she's had a couple through the face as well. So it's 2 of them on this lane here. I think she's got to get dialed in on 53. She needs to maybe move on 53, but not so much on 54.
Erica.
And she
almost got it to carry.
She leaves another one that wobbles and won't fall down. That's 2 in a row. The 10-pin was even worse last frame, but that 8-pin, I'm sure she feels should have gone over.
These pairs are bowling quick, and you know why? Because there's nobody on either side of them right now.
Yeah.
So they're starting to fire away here.
Yeah.
It's going to change in a second, but that's how pairs get ahead. They end up with nobody next to them, and they just start going.
Yep. They're going at a pretty fast pace. You're right.
And it just means they'll probably have to wait before they start their next game anyway.
All right, Erica Schneider covers this one. Don't want to let that one get away from you again. Could have been a 3-bagger. That's what's always painful. You got to cover it and refocus and get going again. Well, Sarah, after on lane 51, after her couldn't buy a strike, all her 9 counts, she got a 3-bagger.
Yeah.
Going for 4 in a row here.
And it's 8th frame. If you're following in the live scoring.
And she trips out to 7. 4 in a row, turning that game around very well.
Yeah. Looking pretty good. 4 in a row.
Yeah, that's what's important. You get your first 2 shots on a pair, and sometimes it takes you those 2 shots to figure out what's going on and make a move, and then you need to be dialed in. And sometimes you just don't carry that first move, but you gotta start stringing them. And that's what she's doing.
Now watching Kristen Johnson here, and maybe you can watch her next first shot, but her ball roll reminds me a little bit of Amanda Green. You know, Amanda Green was on junior team.
She bowled Thailand last year for us.
I think similar kind of ball roll is what it looks like. I know you can watch the next shot. Tell me if you agree or not.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought about her earlier this tournament. Surprised Amanda wasn't here this week.
Yeah, me too. But you never know what somebody's circumstances are.
Yep, that's true. That's like Chris Barnes, Bill O'Neill, Tommy Jones, Sean Rash,
Yep.
and Mike Fagan are all bowling with Chris Paul this weekend.
And I'm guessing that quite a few of them probably would have come to bowl this had they not had that.
Fagan's bowled this a few years in a row. And
Yeah.
I know Chris wants to bowl the AMF World Cup, and so he was planning to come, hoping he would win. And
it makes for
unfortunately, it
good
didn't
live
work out.
streaming too. If,
Well,
when those guys show up too. A lot of people want to watch them in addition to the other folks in the field. So we certainly would have liked to have had them, and maybe next year it'll work out a little better. Never know.
Yeah, I will do my best to let Tom Clark know those are the dates that
That's right.
we're going to bowl again next year. And
Send
please.
Tom an email and say, "Hey Tom, please do us a favor. Try not to
watch those dates.
Yeah.
Save those dates for us.
save them. We give you a year. We'll give you a year notice.
Yeah.
So please." But it is hard to work in, somebody like Chris Paul's schedule when he's in the middle of basketball season.
Yeah, it's good exposure for us and for the sport,
For sure.
for the PBA, for all the players. So, maybe I sound like I'm complaining. I'm disappointed, but I understand.
It's hard to pass up an opportunity like that when you've got a big star like Chris Paul, who's really, really very passionate about bowling. I think you've met him a couple of times, as have I. And good guy, really good guy, down to earth, loves bowling. Look at this. Get the 10 out.
Chipped it out. Yeah, she's got a lot of early side rotation.
Yeah.
And, resembles Amanda.
Kind of in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, very, very much so. A lot of early side rotation, and I think just because of this pattern, jumps and changes quickly towards the end of the pattern there, which adds for a lot of inconsistency when you have too much side rotation on tougher patterns like this. Need a real smooth transition from the oil to the back end dry if you have that much side rotation. And then
missed it.
And then when you move into something like that, there's a lot more oil in the middle and a lot of carry down, and you just don't get that same reaction that you expect that you were getting out, out wide. You just don't get it in the middle of the lane like that.
And if you're wondering why the standings aren't updated, it's because kind of out of whack a little bit.
Yeah, we're
here.
in Game 5 here, but we got people who aren't done with Game 4 quite yet due to, I think, 2 machine breakdowns down on the lower end. So.
And I realize live score's been down here for a couple of frames. I sent Nick a text so we can ask Rick to reset it.
Okay.
Yeah, it gets frozen every once in a while because they got to re-sign into the internet every hour or two, and so if nobody's looking at the screen, then got to manually do it. That's one of the things we'll try to fix for next time for the World Championships.
Need to have
come up with a plan.
Connection that doesn't require that. It's a lot of data in and out of our internet connection when you got all the lanes sending data back and forth with scores and then putting them up and then people looking at them, so it's tough.
So closing out this game,
Yep, we have
Savannah
with 179.
Yep. Darren Terry can shoot 182. So we're just kind of wrapping up Game 5. Sarah can get to 215. That one looked a little right.
Yeah. She got around that a little more, too. Yanked on it. Wasn't so soft and smooth at the bottom.
I love when people are starting to, we talked about it earlier, people are texting me or tweeting me pictures of their setup for their live streaming. So Becky's got it. She's watching it in bed. And, see, we had somebody in a pro shop that had it. Nick says, my Sunday night. He's got a picture of the live stream. So lots of good stuff. People tweeting the pictures. This is what I'm doing for the rest of the day. Has the picture of the live streaming.
Yeah.
So it's cool. Almy tweeted
glad
me one
Glad
earlier.
to have you. Yeah.
Yeah, Almy has a whole setup there. She's got the live streaming, and then she's got the
live
two
scoring.
live scoring monitors going and the Twitter going. So she did earlier. So I look like I see some candy on the desk too, or something. It looks like. Yeah, what's going on there?
Hey, you're getting hungry, man. You've been doing this too long.
That's right. Looking forward to dinner
Pull up
already.
a random picture, start talking about the food in it.
That's right. Spot the candy.
I think those are Almy's standard seashells that she decorates and gives out internationally.
Michael asking if there's a way to keep the live stream going on the other bowlers after the ones in the featured pairs finish. Generally, no, because when they end in groups. And so usually the lanes around end at the same time. And I only have cameras right here in front of me. The other reason is because I have to get interviews with the leaders and take pictures and pack everything up and write the story. So it's a lot of things to do once they get finished up here. Certainly tomorrow we will stay on until we know who the top three are.
Yeah, and we have dinner reservation at
6:30. So yeah, we got stuff to do here.
Yep. So Erica's got a nice string. She's, I like her ball roll. Looks really good. She had several opens early on, but had some good shots there. Kristen stepping up in the 10th now. On a strike can save this game a little bit for her. So you got to stay behind that one a little bit more, but it was flattened out for a 10-pin. And Brianna with the dreaded 7-10 in the 10th.
Yeah, that's never good.
Another brutal 10th frame.
She shoots 201.
And, just picking up one there is 2 pins, because on a strike,
that's
one
true.
is 2.
Yeah, that's right.
So, again, count is key, especially when you're on a strike. 1 is 2 and 2 is 4.
Hopefully they'll get that live scoring fixed here in the next couple of minutes.
As soon as they finish this, I can get off and go down there and yell at them.
Don't yell at them. Be nice. We want it to come back.
I'm yelling. I'm yelling at the slow bowlers down there, even though it wasn't their fault.
Yeah.
I'm going to kick the ball return, tell them to hurry up, and I'm going to yell at the live scoring people.
Nick just sent me a text, so let's see here.
Okay. He probably heard me.
Yeah, he's going to fix it.
Oh, he sent me a text, too. Probably telling me the scores are out. Yeah, so game 4 should be sent here in a moment. He's telling me they're sent, so that blast should be on its way. Erica leaves the 10 pin. She was trying to save that game. She covers it. She's going to shoot 169. But this would be a good time for me to go check on them, and
we're
getting close to finishing up.
Thanks for keeping me company for a while, Neil. Appreciate
it. Thanks for listening to my boring, monotone, DB8 DVD type of thing.
Thanks, Neil. We'll see you later.
Take care.
Neil Stremmel, USBC Managing Director of NGB, sitting in with us for a while. So always nice to have a guest. So we finished up this game, 165 for Erica. And wait for the start of Game 6 here momentarily on Bowl TV. Don't go anywhere. Well, game number 6 is underway. And Jackie Carbonetto just left the double wood. Vanessa Neva and Sarah Locher on that pair, excuse me. Paige Crashar, Catherine Marr, Kelsey Muther on this pair. In our final game of the day. Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern time, we'll have the final round of the women's competition, round 5. We'll be getting underway. And after that round, we'll know the top 3 for our stepladder finals. Monday night. Here's Kelsey. And if you can't stick around to watch tomorrow night for some reason, if you got school, you got past your bedtime, you know, it's gonna watch the football game, you can always watch it on demand a little bit later. It'll be available on our YouTube channel here, Bowl TV. Jeremy says lanes are breaking down all over the place. It sure looks like it right now. We've got a couple of breakdowns right here next to us. They're working on it. You can see them pulling that pin up. Things are, I don't know, a bit of a rough finish here, seems like. I think that one was a case of a pin just slipped out of the top, and that automatically caused the pin setter to shut down. Paige has started with a double here. She's looks like minus 24 on the day. Just 3 in a row now. Looks like of the people on our of the bowlers on our featured pairs, Jackie Carbonetto is has the highest total today at plus 60, and Sarah is at plus 54. Sarah Locher. Katie with a strike for a double. We're in the final game of the day here on Bowl TV. Jackie gets the strike. Paige looking for 4 in a row, and she got it. Sarah's got the front 3. And now make it front 4. Katie's gone spare, spare, double, so she's up now in the 5th. Andres Beatty shot 257 game 5, so she's at plus 184 now. Shannon Plahowski shot 259. And so that would put Shannon at plus 202, I think. Sarah just left a pocket 710 on a 4-bagger. Danielle McEwen's not having her best day here. She's -7 on the day and is not going to shoot 200 this game. She's off to the left of our featured pairs. And this is game 5 for her, by the way. So the featured pairs are going to finish about a game ahead of some of these other pairs. And we got a ball return problem here on 54, so they're going to wait for that to get fixed. Page on the front 5, comes up light, leaves the 2-4. Carbonetto crossing over for 3 strikes in a row. Kelsey with 4 strikes in a row. Katie, 7th frame, 245. Another strike for Jackie Carbonetto, 4 in a row here in game 6. Nice strike there by Sarah. The only thing that's held her back this game is that 7-10 split in the fifth. Otherwise, all strikes. Danielle McEwen going to be in the 160s this game. Game 5. She's on the pair with 4 on it. Got a lot of people who haven't even started game 6 yet. Carbonetto looking for 5 in a row. And it's a split instead. Oh, Danielle McEwen just chopped the spare in the 10th and shot 158. And she is having a rough go of it right now. Eighth frame for Kelsey. Good shot by Sarah in the 9th. She can still get to 245 this game. Carbonetto. It's a good shot in the ninth for her. She can still max at 223 this game. Just about everybody's getting started now with game number 6 finally. We are wrapping up game 6 on the featured pairs. Spare for Page in the ninth. Tenth frame for Katie. She strikes on the first one. She can strike out for 219. Sarah's looking at 225 this game. Thanks to everybody who has subscribed to the channel. Jeremy updating us that we're at 9,940. Maybe when we wake up in the morning, it'll be over 10,000. Hit that subscribe button, please, if you don't mind, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to get that number to 10,000. Katie gets the double in the 10th. Put her at 219 with one more. Up to 9,944. I think we'll get to 10,000 tomorrow. That'll be great. Thanks for all the help, guys. Appreciate you subscribing. $225 for Sarah. 181 for Vanessa, and Jackie can strike out for 223 to finish out this pair. Katie's final shot is a strike for 219. Nice finish for her and a nice game. Page, second shot in the 10th, can get to 245. And, well, she's going to be a 235 with the spare. DeAndres Beatty closes at 259 the last game. Shot by Jackie. Jackie ended up striking out for 223. Missy Parkin shot 148 in Game 5. It's hard to believe. Wonder if that's right. Scores are all over the place today. I think there's a pretty good chance that Deandres Beatty will be the leader at the end of the day here overall. Kelsey strikes out for 237. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and sign off. Back again tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Be sure to join us, and be sure to keep an eye on the live scoring. You're going to keep watching the scores on the other pairs. And the standings will be updated pretty quick after the end of the squad, so be sure to look for that. And I'll have a full recap story coming up here on bowl.com in just a little bit, and we'll post that on Facebook and Twitter as well. So that is all for now from Sunset Station. Have a good night, everybody. We will see you back here tomorrow morning. Final round coverage of the women's competition in the morning, and final round coverage of the men's competition in the afternoon tomorrow. It's stepladder finals coming up 6 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow night. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.